Hey, welcome to Lasers, Dragons, and Keyboards. This episode is not sponsored by Starfield, but could be. And I'm Aaron DeMott.
I'm Liberty Spidell Hart.
I'm Josh Hart, and today on the show we have Pam Halter, uh, one of our good writing friends. Pam Halter was a homeschooling mom for 9 years, has been a children's book author since 1995, a freelance children's book editor since 2006, and was the children's book editor for Fruit Bearer Publishing until January 2023 when the publishing house closed. She's the author of Fairy Eater, a YA fantasy novel published by Love to Read, Love to Write Publishing, and Willoughby and Friends, a picture book series about friendship featuring Willoughby, the dragon. Pam lives in southern New Jersey with her husband, special adult needs daughter, and four cats. When she's not writing, Pam enjoys reading, quilting, gardening, cooking, playing the piano, Bible study, and walking long country roads where she discovers fairy homes, emerging dragons, and trees eating wood gnomes.
You sound busy.
Welcome, Pam.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here with you guys
So
Yeah,
excited to have you.
I don't know how
Hmm.
we've missed having you on the show before now, so
because we all busy people.
I think so.
Yes.
So Pam, why don't we start off with what is your name, what is your quest, and what is your favorite color?
My name is Pam Halter. My quest is to finally finish the prequel to Fairy Eater. I don't really have a favorite color, but if I had to pick one, I lean towards sage green.
That's a pretty color.
Well, she just
Yes.
got thrown off the bridge, but oh well.
Ah!
No, I didn't change my mind. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I do a lot of crocheting myself, and I have used sage green more times in more projects than I care to remember. So,
Yes.
It's
okay.
like a fairy green. So,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
kind of is. So,
So Pam also brought Willoughby along,
Mhm.
um,
Hi,
and that's the
Willoughby.
Hi. I'm
Hi,
sad to say
Willoughby.
Willoughby is out of print right now because the publishing house closed because the owner, who was also my dear friend and sister in Christ, passed away from
oh,
cancer.
Oh no.
Mm,
So Willoughby's kind of in limbo right now, I guess. Um,
yeah.
but Kim, who's the illustrator, we're considering some options. One of them possibly being an animated book, which that's it, because
That'd be
Josh
neat.
is definitely the voice of Willoughby, and so we're gathering our info and ideas and things to see what, and we're praying. What does God want us to do with Willoughby? So,
Oh, yeah.
but he's still here.
So I suppose that leads into the next question. Your latest project is?
Okay, so I have two. Actually, I'm going to set Willoughby down for a sec. I have two projects that I am actively working on. One is a first chapter book, probably like ages 6 to 9, short, about a little under 3,000 words. I thought it was dead in my files, you guys, and I took a master class through Right to Ignite um, just last Saturday, a week ago, and there's a new publishing house called Monarch Publishing. I think they go Monarch Educational Services, and they're dying for picture books. They want picture books. They're closed to submissions right now, but because I took the class, it's kind of like being in a at a conference, that I get
Mhm.
a chance to submit, and they want something with some kind of history or historical feature to it. So Mr. Fizzlebot's Super Spectacular Fix 'em Up Shop does all
Oh,
of that, and it's all robot characters, and in
Hmm.
each one of the books, we're featuring a person in history that is also was also a robot of history. So in the first book, called Back in Business, that I'm going to be submitting, Um, we feature Paul Revere, and I'm saying we, Kim and I, because Kim illustrates a lot of my stuff. And so in the robot world, it's Polly Revbot who runs messages. Used to, run messages and news and things and all, but the big thing was when the parts stealers came to, dismantle robots and stuff. And so he warned everybody that they were coming so that all the robots could, prepare for it. And then in the back matter, I've got a couple paragraphs about the real Polly Revbot, also known as Paul Revere, and
Hmm.
a picture, a painting. And then in a research on that, because don't we love our research, you guys?
Oh
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yes.
I found Sybil Luddington, who was the 16-year-old daughter of a captain of a militia during the Revolutionary War. And about the same time Paul Revere was making his run, she was riding her horse all over, gathering the 400 men in the militia to go to her father so that they could, join the fight. And then during the Revolutionary War, she rode all around messages, bringing things, whatever was needed. She was 16 years old, and she did all of that. And in 1976, the post office put out a stamp in her honor. So I've got that picture and I've got that back matter in
That's
for the
Oh,
kids,
that's really
cool.
cool. I feel
Yeah,
like I've
16
heard
hit
that
a lot.
story. I feel
right?
like I story though. I can't remember where I would have heard it, but I feel like I've heard about her before.
I had
Yeah.
never heard
That's
about her,
neat.
so I thought that was very cool. And I tried to sell it several
Mhm,
years back now. Nobody was interested in it. And anything like, I really, like I said, I thought it was dead in my files. And,
mhm,
at least I have an opportunity
mhm,
to have somebody take a look at it. So that has not been submitted yet, but when I get the rest of the proposal freshened up, make sure there isn't any other new robot stories out there that I missed, then I'll get that submitted. That and the other one is also a chapter book for a little bit older, ages 7 to 10 or so, maybe really early middle grade. It's the
mhm.
Food Fight series, and the first book, Kitchen Takeover. It's all about Buddy, who is 11 years old in fifth grade. His mom is a horrible, horrible cook to the point of obnoxiousness, right? So the book is,
Yes.
the story's silly, but his name is Buddy, but his real name is Ham. Okay, and last name is Burger. And so um, there's the play on their, all the names are on the play on that, even the dog whose name is Bacon, right? So Buddy learns, all he does is he gets mocked by these terrible dinners and foods and meals that his mom makes. And he they're like his enemies. He opens up the fridge and there's the old tuna casserole going, wow, buddy, I'm going to be your dinner tonight, But he learns uh, kids can learn how to cook
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
they had career day at school and one was a chef. And so he and his friends get together and they watch cooking videos and all. And he was like, I want to try this. So he goes to his dad and his dad says, I will help you. Mom won't let him in the kitchen, because she won't. That's her thing. But he has a tree fort. And so dad gets him an electric frying pan and, he's got a microwave. So he and dad and grandpa who lives with them, they practice and know. So Buddy watches cooking videos and things like that. And that's how I learned to cook, by watching cooking shows and cooking videos and things. Because my mom was not a bad cook. She was a plain cook. Everything was
Mm.
very basic and plain. And I wanted more. My brother and my sister and I all want, and we're all good cooks and we all use all kinds of ingredients and things. And my mom
So we've
just could never figure us out.
so we've kind of got Vicar of Dibley meets Master Chef Junior, huh?
What's that?
Said we've kind of got Vicar of Dibley meets Master Chef Junior, huh?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so that I'm hoping to get some interest in somewhere for that. I've not done the back matter yet because I want, Buddy talking to the kids with a glossary and kitchen safety and things. And I'm
Sure.
stuck on how to help kids be able to make their own cooking journal. So I'm studying how you do that kind of thing and see what I can put together for kids to be able to do that.
What's that one
That
So
sounds
kids
those are the
cooking
great.
show on
two
Netflix? Knives are
news,
sharp. Get a grown up.
right? Yeah. So that's the new stuff, other than, working on the prequel to Fairy Eater, which has been like way too long. And Michelle keeps going, I'm waiting. I'm like, I know. So I'm more than halfway through it. I'm actively working on it again. And so,
And
Uh,
Michelle is your editor?
yeah, Michelle Harper, love to
Okay.
read, love to write, publishing.
yeah.
Yep.
Now, the prequel is kind of the villain origin story for the villains in Fairy Eater, correct?
Yes. I had a friend that said, wouldn't it be cool to have a story about who the Dark Lord was before he became the Dark Lord? And I went, yeah. So, yeah,
Very neat.
it's been interesting. Going to get kind of ugly and violent here soon. And I don't like that, but, it's
Uh,
necessary for the story.
yeah,
I mean, if it's important to the story, you kind of have to do it.
You
So
do.
those types of things do strengthen us and stretch us as writers. So
Yeah.
it's kind of important.
Yep. So, and what else? Short stories, love them. Uh,
yeah.
Yield Dragon Books' newest anthology is coming out on the 15th of October. It's called Don't Go in the Water, based on
Mm.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh.
And so I went comedy on that one.
Mhm.
Very nice.
Cthulhu. I was looking up Sea Monster Legends, and I found landed on Cthulhu. Didn't know who he was. I know now, but yeah, so it's Cthulhu Vacation. So think National Lampoon's Vacation. So
Oh boy.
Oh,
I think we're gonna have
That
to
could be funny.
get a copy of that one.
it was fun. I cracked myself up writing it. I don't know if that's good or not, but it was
I
still
mean, if
fun.
the writer is laughing at it when it's supposed to be funny, I mean, the chances are pretty high that the reader's gonna laugh at it
Yeah.
too.
hmm.
That is true. Yep, yep.
All right, Aaron, you're up.
Oh, next question is: do you have a favorite scene or character from this? Well,
Any of these?
any of these? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
what
let's
I
go for
thought
any of
about
these.
was it in Mr. Fizzlebot's super spectacular fix 'em up shop. I think I'm digging One Eyed Jake because he's a secondary character and I don't know him that well and I find him intriguing. So I'm gonna get to know him a little better. He's the owner of the junkyard. So he's
Okay.
the junk bot
Okay.
that all the kid bots are terrified of because if you get in the way of One Eyed Jake, he's gonna disassemble you and put you in his junkyard.
Uh oh.
So then
Ooh.
they have to dare each other to, walk past the junkyard. It's kind of like walking through the graveyard or something. So,
Oh my goodness, that sounds funny.
yeah.
Those secondary characters or side characters, they sneak up on you, and a lot of times it's like, okay, can I write a story about this character now?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
your
They
world, you
totally
can
want to
do it.
butt in. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called
Oh,
a reader magnet.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
definitely, there's going to be a story about, that features One Eyed Jake for sure because he's just
Hmm.
too
Yeah.
cool not to.
Fun, fun. So, uh, so let's get into a little bit of the nitty gritty on the writing process for you. So, when you sit down to edit after you've written all the words that you think you're going to write, what does your
Mhm.
editing process look like?
Well, I do go through myself, but you don't see your own stuff. You have to have fresh eyes.
Yep.
So I have a monthly critique group, an online critique group that I send stuff to. And I'm also gotten really involved in Scribbling Women. Nancy Roos started this group of women based on Nathaniel Hawthorne's quote about women authors that says that, women, they're just a bunch of scribbling women. So um, I lead Tuesday night silent scribbling. And if there's anything I need taken, would somebody take a look at during that? Or probably not during that. That's our writing time. But I do have people that I can send stuff. I have to send stuff to
Hmm.
and get input and feedback. I like using for my kids' stuff. I've got some friends whose kids have read some of my stuff too. Mr. Fizzlebot's story got looked at by a 9-year-old girl, and the boy was 7 or 8. So I got some good input there because kids see things different, and
True.
yeah. So, and I do public library in the town next town over. I do story time once a month. So sometimes I run stuff past them to see what the kids are thinking.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds very fun.
Very cool. So What does marketing look like for you?
Well, I'm cool with marketing. I'm one of those weird extroverted writers that, I'm okay with all of that. The problem I think is having enough money to do some really good advertising,
Yeah.
and it's figuring out where do I put that, the money that I do have for that, what kind of book swag is going to work the best for
Hmm.
um marketing and all, and just trying to figure out some neat and fresh new things that will I'm sorry, my cats are behind me on the bed fighting.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you said that you have 4 cats, so I was
Or
just gonna
Well,
point out that they're visiting and
oh, you guys,
so you just pan the camera over to the cats, and the podcast rating will instantly go up. And
we have four cats and only one belongs to us.
Oh
how's that
no.
work?
wow.
Yeah. Well, first we have my mother-in-law's cat. Mom passed away, and
Okay, okay.
her cat is still with us, and she's neurotic and lives under the bed in the front bedroom. Um, and then we have Maddie and Oliver, who are my daughter Mary's cats. And when Mary moved from New Jersey to Arizona, we were not shipping cats across the country. So our
Mm-mm.
grandcats live with us. And then we have our own
Grandcats.
cat Spot, who you may have seen on my Facebook thing every now and then, because he's such a weirdo and we love him so much and he's very cool. So yeah, we have four cats and only one is ours. And
So is
totally
Spot orange?
no, Spot is gray, dark gray with stripes. He's got a lot of white on him. And on his belly, which is all creamy white color, are black spots. They're
Ah,
fur
that's
titanium
Spot.
spots.
Okay.
And so when I called the vet and they were like, "So what size dog is Spot? Medium?" I said, "It's not a dog." And they were like, "What?" I said, "It's a cat." He was just a baby. We brought him in from outside, and um she was like, "You named your kitten Spot." I'm like, "Hey, it was good enough for Data. It's good enough
I
for
know.
me."
I know,
you
right?
know? And she
Thank
was
you.
like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "All right."
Note to self: find another
Clearly you've left
veterinarian that
my
is
world.
a fan of Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So marketing, it's hard to know what will be effective. All of us run into that. And it doesn't matter if you're picked up by a big publishing house, a medium one, or if you indie publish, you have to market. And so it's finding out what works for who you are writing for. With
Hmm.
kids, it's easier because kids love stickers, and I have stickers and temporary tattoos and coloring pages and bookmarks. When I'm writing young adult or even some of the anthologies, which are, for up 15 and up, what do you do for that besides bookmarks and
Mhm.
you know uh yeah,
I've
there's
heard
a little
booking
harder
links
to,
are fun.
yeah.
So.
I remember for Willoughby, excuse me, Willoughby, and the bumpy birthday cake.
Hmm.
Uh, you had some really cool like swag, like for baking cakes with
Yep.
spatula and
Hmm.
the aprons and stuff. Um, so you're right, and I suspect it's easier to do that than it is for teenagers because what do teenagers like?
Right. Yeah. Well, and it just depends on the person too. For Fairy Eater, I had bookmarks. I also had temporary tattoos that you could put the rune, the birthmark on your hand like the main character has. That didn't go over at all. I thought it would, but it didn't. I've got a bazillion of them
Some of
here.
that depends on the crowd too,
Yeah.
because I've heard other authors talking about temporary tattoos and having success with them.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Well, then I landed on, like, okay, the witch catches and dries and eats fairy. She's the fairy eater. Okay, I found fairy cookie cutters, and so that was that was a giveaway too. And I
Mhm.
included a recipe, and that you could make these cutout cookies in the shape of fairies, and then therefore you could also be a fairy eater. So that was kind of fun. And then the front cover that has the window where the fairies are drying. My friend Kim, who does Willoughby, she's a children's book, but she came up with this, and it was like so creepy and cool. And so I had them printed out by themselves, Tismit's Window, we call it. And so
Oh,
they've been giveaways too. People seem to like that because it's just a very cool print, and
Mhm.
it's
Hmm.
all
it is.
original art. So
Yeah,
so
it's appropriately dark
mhm,
without being too dark.
yeah.
So, a follow up
Yeah.
question: do you do a lot of marketing online or in person at events, or?
I do both. I do both. I do a lot of local vendor events. I did, I'd go to Realm Makers and other
Mhm.
conferences. Either attended a conference or I've been on faculty at a few conferences, and I'm going to be on faculty next year at Montrose Christian Writers Conference, and that's up actually not that far from Chuck Breyer. So
Okay.
it's right under Binghamton, and I'm going to miss Realm Makers
Oh
because of
no.
that.
No.
No.
Because it butts right now. If we had gotten back on the East Coast, I'd have been able to drive home from Montrose, you know, do laundry, pack again, and drive. But I can't, and I'm doing. Kim and I are doing a picture book mentoring workshop, but I'm also working with the teens. So I'll be working with the
Mm.
teen writers every day on speculative writing, and
Oh, that'll be
Okay.
to
fun.
do that. That's so there's that kind of stuff, and then I am putting out my first newsletter next week.
Ah.
Next week, which means I got to finish it. Right, I got to finish it. But the cool thing is, I got the if you sign up, go to my website pamhalter.com, which what we talk about that later, where they can find me. But I've
Yeah.
actually managed to get the welcome and here's your free short story
Yep.
email, up there. And so I was excited that I did that.
Nice.
Okay, I
Hmm.
have to admit, I had to hire somebody to help me through MailerLite because technology and I do not play well together. I am not wired for it at all. Um,
Understood.
Once I learn
Yeah,
how to
there's
do it,
some.
but it changes. So,
I think that there are some people that you can stand over your shoulder and go, "Oh no, you're not doing anything wrong. The tech seems to hate you," and then they lean over and click, and I know
yeah,
it
very
works for
true.
me. It's like, "Arr."
Yep,
Yep. I hear you
yep.
on that one. Pam, follow up question on the local events. What do you find draws people into your tables and helps you produce the sales when you're doing these face to face events?
Oh my gosh, I wish I could tell you. I wish I knew because there are times, and I set up my table and it's colorful and bright.
Hmm.
And sometimes people come right over and sometimes they walk by like I'm invisible. So
Hmm.
I think what I tried this at Realm Makers. I thought, you know what, everything I have besides a little stand up one little book thing that tends to want to fall over, um, I went on Amazon and I got a tabletop kind of a not exactly a shelf, but it's right, but has
Hmm.
three places to put books and they sit up. So I've got
Hmm.
three layers of books that way. And
Hmm.
so that gives you, I think 3D works good. Besides the colorful tablecloths and scarves and things that I have, something sitting up like that is good. And then I got a kind of like a coat tree that I hung my cloth bags on that I made. That was on the end. So that kind of gave it 3D here and 3D there.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I think that draws people's eyes better. Um, I've seen some of them have those kind of like a long poster that you hang it
Hmm.
up and it sits behind you. I'm thinking about that, but I don't know what to put on it yet. So,
Hmm.
Oh, a book cover, picture of a book cover. I don't know. That's what I've
well, because I've
seen,
got
but
Kismet's
Fairy Eater
window.
and I've got Willoughby, but then I'm in
no,
six
yeah,
anthologies with Yale Dragon books. I'm in Realmscapes and I'm in two that are out right now of Whitstead, but
Hmm.
Whitstead's Christmas Tide, Harvest Tide, Summertide's getting ready to come out, and hopefully by November. So I've got all this stuff, that I'm in. And what do you put on that? I don't want to put my big old face there,
I
going,
mean,
you know, Pam
I mean,
Halter.
it works for some people. So,
Yeah,
um, Yeah, I know that a lot of people that do those banners, they're looking more at the brand rather than,
Yeah,
a specific book, because, 20 years from now you could still be using the same brand logo
right.
and stuff, but the book might be so outdated, maybe it's out of print, or, Willoughby's, you said, is out of print now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not
Yeah,
really
I
helpful.
no, I know. I bought up all the leftovers, so I have what I have here at home is what I have. So,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's ye old D6 time. And I think that's Aaron's question.
I'm ready.
Okay.
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 We're rolling. We got a 3. So that is who would be in your fellowship on an epic quest?
Oh, well, I was like, I have a combo of real people and legendary.
That's allowed.
Yeah,
So
it
I'm
is.
thinking Carla Hoke, because I need
Definitely.
somebody to kick somebody's
Yes.
butt, I'm thinking that. My daughter Mary, because she's freaking amazing and smart and will be with my best pal. She already is one of my best. I'm thinking JJ Johnson, because that man knows plants and things and ought to be able to feed us on the way. He's a master
Yep, yep,
There
yep.
gardener
you
right
go.
now. Then I'm like Gandalf and or Alanon, because you need a wizard and they're both very very cool. You got Gandalf as the wizard, Alanon's a druid, so let's maybe both of them. I'm not sure if they butt heads or not, but my friend Joyce Magnan, who's the gaming Grammy, so she's all about quests and games and things. Plus, she's a fabulous author. So yeah, I got to have Joyce with me. Captain Picard, I think he works things out pretty darn good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then my brother Sam, because he's like one of my best buds too, and he's also good at cooking and figuring things out. And
Okay.
That's a good group of people.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that will work. And I thought I should probably like put my husband in there, but nah.
Oh,
Yeah.
ouch.
I'm thinking of all the skill sets that's needed, and yeah, I'm pretty good with who I picked out.
Yeah.
Oh man, Pam. We won't tell him that you said that.
Hope
No.
Yeah,
he's
he
not
probably won't
watching.
listen anyway. You know what though? He's a great guy. He's a great husband and dad, and I could
Mhm.
not do anything that I do without his support. And he helps take care of Anna.
Except questing,
So
huh?
Yeah.
she needs 24/7 care. So there's
Mhm.
that. So right now though, he's at a his cousin's ministry in the next town
Mhm.
over where they feed homeless, and so he does
Very
that
cool.
several Saturdays a
Mhm.
month. It's very cool.
Cool.
And so yeah. So right now I have a friend, Bonnie. Well, she works with Anna anyway. I have two young women who take care of Anna during the day because her day program shut down with COVID.
Mm.
So Anna's in the next room hanging out with Bonnie.
Okay.
Fun, fun. So, are we doing it again?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So, what is your favorite book if you had to choose?
I know, right? So hard. Okay, so I did two. I did a series, my favorite series. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Magnificent Devices series by Shelley Adina.
Oh, those are good.
Steampunk. Oh my gosh, so good. And all the spin-offs, I can read them without editing in my head. It's a gift, you know. And if I
Nice.
think I'm going to have to a go-to book, like say if I wanted, what is my go-to when I just don't, do you know how I read books over and over because sometimes I don't have the bandwidth to concentrate and learn new characters, and
Mhm.
sometimes I miss characters. It's like hanging out with friends, old friends, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So my big go-to with that is Spindle's End by Robin McKinley, and that's a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, and it's
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
amazing. It's like I think the best thing she's written.
Okay. That sounds really interesting. I'll have to give Sleeping Beauty is one of my favorite fairy tales, so I'll have to give that one a try.
And it does, you will know, you won't recognize Sleeping Beauty at all. But it's so good. She's a British author, so there's lots and
Okay.
lots of the command of the language and the beautiful words, and lots of narrative about the setting and stuff. It's very cool.
Sounds like it. So,
Wonderful.
Pam, what's up next for you?
Well, two things. My newsletter.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And the big new thing that probably won't be coming out till spring, Kim and I are going to be offering Zoom workshops for picture book mentoring
Oh,
because
neat.
Kim's an
Awesome.
illustrator. And so working with her has changed the way I write for kids because she sees things with an artist eye.
Hmm.
I do the words, she does the pictures. And so I've learned that to write a different way to be able to spark her imagination as an artist. And we
Mm.
have done this mentoring clinic. We've done it 3 times at conferences and where people come with they have to have a finished manuscript. It's not how to write for kids. It's you bring your manuscript. We tailor everything we do around the manuscripts that we have. And we do group things. We do individual assignments. We both meet with everybody one-on-one. They meet with me by myself. They meet with Kim by herself. We set them on a task. Then they meet with us again so we can look at what they've done, whether it's revisions or ideas or whatever additions. And so, and it's a limited class because when you're focusing that much on just stories, you have to limit it to 6, 8 authors.
Hmm.
And there's always waiting lists when we do this. And
Oh, I
people are like,
bet. Yeah.
can't we just come in? Can't we just sneak in? You can't. So, and none of that's recorded. So it's not like people can go and watch it later because it's all
It's
an
all custom
individual
tailored and stuff. Yeah.
manuscript. Yeah. So, so we've been meeting and making notes and seeing what we can work out in the way of we'll come to you in person, anybody that wants us. But people that can't, we've done it a couple times, twice. We've done it twice in person, 2 different conferences, and one Zoom at a conference. So we're going to offer those by Zoom for
Fun.
anyone who's
That is
interested.
great.
That would be
Yeah,
neat. Yeah.
and so we will probably announce that first of those we're now open to do this in the spring when Kim's
Mm.
schedule opens up from
And
Yeah.
is
Illustrator.
there some place where people should watch for that information so
My
they know?
website. I'll put
Okay.
it on my website on my news page, and then of course I will talk about it on Facebook on my author page
Okay.
and share it wherever I'm in some children's books groups and stuff. Yeah.
Fun.
And we can find you where online besides your Facebook group?
The internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
PamHalter.com. It's real easy. Make it easy for people to find us, right? PamHalter.com. And
Okay.
then I have a regular Facebook page, and then I have an author, Pam. It's facebook.com/author Pam Halter. Willoughby has a page too, but right now it's kind of laying low. Willoughby
He's
also
in
has
hibernation for the winter. Yeah,
he
we'll go with that.
is. I like
Yeah.
that idea. And his Instagram has been pretty quiet. Willoughby has his own Instagram.
Do
Where's
dragons
Willoughby?
hibernate? I don't know. We're gonna go with it.
Yeah, yeah. I do not have an Instagram because I was focusing more on Willoughby because you know you don't know what life is going to give you, and you don't know what God's going to allow or bring or take away. You don't know any of it.
Mhm.
Um, we didn't know when Candy went in to have a knee replacement that they would find an aggressive rare cancer in her bone. We
Yeek.
didn't know, and she was gone just a few months later. And so, whew, so we all know this in our realmy world, right?
Mhm.
With
Yeah.
Aaron Schlegel and so you
Yep.
don't know. Um, so I've decided that I'm going to keep going and do what I can when I can. And can I say this too? People are important. So as important as my writing is, a lot of it takes longer than it should because people need me, and whether
Hmm.
it's family or friends or my children and all, and they come first.
Yep. I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah, well, we all have kids, so we know,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
so,
So
Well, I think that about wraps it up. You've mentioned your pod or your website. Maybe you need to get on a podcast because I was about ready to
Yeah,
miss a
I
beat.
know. Kim is trying to convince me to do all kinds of things. We need a YouTube channel and stuff. I'm like, all right, one thing at a time. So I think what will help is when we do the Zoom workshops,
Yeah.
and I offer Zoom. Like if anyone wants to hire me for editing, I only do picture books, maybe
Mhm.
some early chapter books, but I Zoom now with the
Mhm.
client before we get started, before we do anything, because they really want to. I want to hear their voice. I want to see their facial expression. I want to know how excited
Yeah.
they are. I want to pick their brain, and it helps me help them better.
Definitely.
So, and I only have but so much time.
Yeah.
And I know that with Anna, I don't know what's going to happen every day. She has Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, which is an uncontrolled rare seizure disorder. She has seizures every day, every single day. You never know what you're going to get. It's going to be a short one, a long one. Um, are
Yeah.
we going to have to do rescue meds? Are we going to have to call 911? We don't know. So I don't want to load myself up with too much for
Yep.
that
I don't blame you on
reason.
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
So.
And that's really good advice, just life advice. But for our author friends out there, a reminder that sometimes, the manuscript can take a backseat.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
So,
as writers, we're all writers, so we know this, that no matter where you are, what you're doing or talking or anything, there's that part of your brain that's always working on
Mhm.
what
yep,
you're writing.
Oh yeah.
Always. It's going on all the time. So when I get to sit down, I actually get more done than if
Mhm.
I was writing every day, because I can't write every day.
Yep. I understand you on that one.
Yeah.
So even if I'm don't even really actively think about my work in progress, it's like once I sit down, usually I can get 2, 3,000 words out
Hmm.
just like that because
hmm
I have the time, but it's been
But your
sitting
brain's been
there.
working on it.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
sitting there spinning the whole
yep.
time.
Yep.
So okay, well I don't think we have any announcements. Josh, do we have any upcoming guests currently scheduled?
Not at this point. There are some things in the works. Probably looking towards after New Year, we're going to have a couple of roundtables.
Ooh,
Ooh, that
that'll
sounds
So
be
for
fun.
our
fun.
listeners, uh, be looking out for that.
Hmm.
So in other words,
Any
same bat channel, but not same bat time. Gotcha.
yeah, just
Yes.
check our Facebook for updates on when we're having new guests on. Any personal announcements looking mainly at Aaron because he's been a little more active this summer than we have.
I have a novel releasing here shortly. But
Woo!
I don't have a date yet.
I put you on the
There's
spot. I'm sorry.
there's a couple of things that are beyond my control that are kind of working through. I was hoping to have that out yesterday, but well, those things are out of my control. Well, they're not done yet, so yeah, keep watching my website. I have a new novel. It's set in the Eternal universe, but it's a standalone novel that takes place on a different planet. So yeah, keep checking my website for announcements on that.
That's
So that'll be coming
exciting.
out soon.
Yay.
Yay. So,
So,
um, do you have anything else you want to add, Pam?
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay.
okay.
Well, we will catch everybody next time. Just again, check our Facebook page for updates on the schedule. Otherwise, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and thanks for joining us.
See everybody
Yay.
later.
Ruby
See ya.
says bye.
Bye, everybody.